For over 50 years in more than 50 countries around the world, Zueblin International has been carrying out innovative and efficient design, management, construction and turnkey projects. As a wholly owned subsidiary of Strabag SE, one of Europe's leading construction groups with over 75,000 staff, Zueblin International's projects are planned and managed by qualified and highly motivated engineers and designers, backed by experienced administrative and management personnel. Our modern plant and equipment, being operated by highly trained on-site personnel, guarantee on-time performance and a high standard of quality. Our offices are located across the world, in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, South America and Asia. And now, Zueblin's pool of knowledge and wealth of experience is available in Australia through Zueblin Australia. During the last 3 decades, Zueblin has become one of the leading international companies in tunnel construction. With vast experience in the construction of tunnels in hard rock as well as in soft water-bearing strata, Zueblin Australia were awarded the contract to build the tunnels for the Western Australian Government's Southern Seawater Desalination Plant, the next major water source for Western Australia. Situated between Binningup and Mileup, 100 kilometres south of Perth, the plant will produce 50 billion litres of drinking water annually, with a capacity to expand to 100 gigalitres per year. The plant will have minimal impact on the environment, and stringent monitoring will be undertaken to help minimise any impact. And as with all other Zueblin projects, safety will be the #1 priority, further enhancing Zueblin's exemplary safety records. Training is carried out regularly to ensure all employees are aware of the latest issues and are kept informed of what is happening in relation to safety and hazards in and around their work site. Job safety and environmental analysis are carried out when a new task is to be undertaken, with daily risk assessments being completed for each task. The tunnelling works were completed in October 2010, with the first water to be drawn from the plant in May of 2011. The 3 tunnels built by Zueblin are to be used for the intake of seawater and the outfall of the water once the process to remove the salt and other impurities has taken place. Around 40% of the water that goes through the desalination plant comes out as fresh water, while the other 60% will be pumped back into the ocean. The 2 intake tunnels are both 860 metres long, with an inner diameter of 2.4 metres and reach 450 metres out into the sea, while the 2-metre outfall tunnel is 950 metres long and extends 550 metres out to sea. The actual tunnelling process consists of a number of sections and components. The pipe jacking setup consists of the onshore jacking pit, the jacking frame, pumping systems for slurry material removal, separation plant, pipe stock and an overhead gantry crane to lower down the jacking pipes, which were designed and produced by Zueblin. This onshore jacking pit was constructed with diaphragm walls with 3 separate chambers, 1 for each drive. They are approximately 7 and 10 metres deep, whereas the walls continue to a depth of 20 metres, reaching into firm rock. The TBM rotating cutting wheel excavates the material at the tunnel face. Rock and stones are crushed by the discs of the cutting wheel and then ground down to the appropriate grain size in the stone crusher situated behind the screw conveyor inside the TBM. The material is picked up in the slurry circuit and transported to the separation plant through the slurry discharge line. This line passes through the machine and the jack pipes up to the surface. In the separation plant, the excavated material is separated from the water. The machine and the pipeline advance continuously with the help of the jacking frame and intermediate jacking stations. The movable cutting head of the machine is controllable, and this enables the jacking of curved pipelines. Sand dunes and beach can be undercrossed before the pipeline is jacked horizontally to the arrival point below the seabed. To keep the jacking forces of the jacking frame as low as possible, intermediate jacking stations are used during long-distance pipe jacking. Every intermediate jacking station only jacks a section of the pipeline, ensuring that the required jacking forces are kept at a low level. With this method, it is possible to achieve long-distance pipe jacking. The reception pit is located 17 metres below sea level and 8 metres below the seabed. A barge is positioned above the arrival point of the machine and is kept in its position by mooring lines and a ship. At the arrival point, a reception pit of approximately 25 metres length is excavated. A crane side casts the excavated material and then backfills the pit with sand. The tunnelling machine arrives at the reception pit. A part of the sand covering the machine is excavated, the rest vacuumed away by a scuba diver using an airlifter. The machine is hermetically sealed and kept pressurised, thus preventing seawater ingress into the machine during the recovery. A pre-installed bulkhead on the first jacking pipe prevents the tunnel from being flooded. A diver links a lifting crossbeam to the machine. To separate the TBM from the first precast pipe, the hydraulic cylinders installed in the rear part of the machine are extended. The recovery itself can then begin. The complete machine is lifted by crane and towed to the nearby harbour where the TBM is lifted out of the water. The aim of the Southern Seawater Alliance is to have the first water drawn from the plant in May 2011. As a result of Zueblin's dedication, expertise, commitment to quality and having the tunnels completed on time, this will be achieved. For further information, we invite you to contact either our Perth or Singapore offices and find out why Zueblin is one of the world's leading tunnelling companies.